Hey there everybody, it's Wayne D. Welcome to the website, it's WayneD.com. And in this video I wanted to remember Anthony Kim, who I have always admired, especially his golf swing. Great swing. So for all of you that don't have a lot of Anthony Kim video, let me run through the swings that I have, and then you can have those, and then I'll talk about some of the things that I use to show my students that I think are especially great about Kim's swing. So let's watch a few swings here. Alright, so let's go. Here's a swing that I always use as a demonstration of a proper takeaway. So I always love to show how the club and the grip come right up the plane. Camera moves a fraction, but you can see how nice that is. And then of course at P3 we get it exactly on plane again. We get it on plane at the top. Got the left wrist neutral, slightly cupped. Face looks perfectly in line with the shaft. Now one thing that Kim did a little different, say, than a Hogan, is when he comes down, his right arm does not adduct and externally rotate and drive way up into his rib cage. It stays a little wider, but he's got such great lower body action. Look how open he is there. and his left arm stays so nicely across him that when he comes down, he's covering the original shaft plane. It's really one of the simplest looking swings you'll see. I like the hand path. You can see the left arm react to the pivot. See the hips stay nicely in the box. So there's this driver swing here. The camera is still enough so you can see it. If I put a little box on the T marker, so you can see that the camera has moved down but has not moved side to side. So while the line on top of his head wouldn't be correct, when I put the lines, the vertical lines are going to be fine. So let's watch the hip action here. And that's about as puree as it gets. So you can see him get deep in the right hip in the backswing and then maintain that depth. See how the right cheek stays on the tush line. And another thing that I like to show that I thought was pretty cool is once I get him to P5, if I put a box around his head, I just like to run this thing back and forth. You see, his head just looks suspended in the air. So if we go to the slow-mo swing where we can see the club face a little better, you can see how the forearm rotation is going to put the toe of the club pretty much straight up at P2. It's going to continue to roll the forearm. The right forearm is supinating, left forearm is pronating, the left wrist is staying cupped. And he's just going to continue to do that to the top. Now what's different here is that the right arm is a little bit tucked here, and when he starts down, the arm is not going to independently drive as forward, although with the rotation of the body it stays well in front. So the difference now is going to be when you look at it a little more from face on, we're going to see something that you would never see in a Hogan swing. You're going to see some air between that right arm and his side. Hogan would have that right arm buried way more forward than that. So Kim had a more of a wide approach, but really perfect handle drag and left wrist bowing or flexion. And the right arm always stayed nicely bent all the way into impact. You can watch this one. So this is pins over here. This is at Congressional. All these swings are 2008, 9, and 10 when he had his best years. So this is a perfect example of how to hit a little fade into a right pin. He's got his feet a little left. He's going to take the club slightly more out than he usually does. It's going to look a little more laid off at the top. Hand path is going to be out. Club's going to be a little steeper across his arm. He's going to hit this, and you can see the ball starting from here to here, at which point he's going to curve it over there a little bit. Then once again, the stability of the upper body is pretty amazing because of the lower body action is so pure. So he ran into injury problems. He was only 26. His last tournament round was in 2012. And since then, he just hasn't played. It's too bad. We miss him. Hope he would be nice if he could come back, but it doesn't sound like it with the amount of surgery he's had on different parts of his body. Looks like he's pretty much done. Anyway, just wanted to remember him because I love that golf swing.